So Shams put out an article yesterday saying how the Pacers are about to go into full rebuild mode and are looking to trade solid players on their team such as Caris LeVert, Domantas Sabonis, and Miles Turner. So what is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? I have 10 trades that I'm going to talk about that I came up with on fanspo.com. It's definitely the best mock trading site. Link to that in the description below. And I'm not in an NBA front office, so I don't know what the value is on these players exactly. I think I can give a good estimate just on past trades, historical trades, and just really where they are at the points in their career, looking at their contract, are they under control, are they due for a new extension, how old they are, how well they can adapt to new systems. So yeah, if there's any trades that I didn't mention, let me know down below, and I have 10 for you guys today. There will be no Malcolm Brogdon trades in this because he can't be traded until the 2022 offseason. I could expect him to be traded then, but he can't right now because he recently signed an extension. So I have LeVert trades, Turner trades, Sabonis trades, and a couple TJ Warren trades, who was also a free agent at the end of the year. He did come out saying, I think he wants to re-sign with Indiana, but they'd be silly to not trade him if they have a good offer on the table. So the first one is Domantas Sabonis. This is going to be the most, I think, active player in this video. I think I have like 4 or 5 Domantas Sabonis trades, so pretty much half of these, because he is the most polarizing player that they have on the block. It's the player they're going to get the most in return for, and he's a 25-year-old two-time All-Star who has 2 more years on his deal after this year. It is one of the best contracts out there. And it's not like he's getting paid $40 million a year either. It's $18.5 million for a 25-year-old two-time All-Star. He is going to get a lot in return for the Pacers. So I don't really know if this is a smart idea to move Sabonis. I would actually just move Turner, LeVert, Brogdon, Warren, everybody but Sabonis, and build a new roster around him, including like Chris Duarte in that as well in that rotation. So the first one is Ben Simmons, 2 first-round picks for Domantas Sabonis and Caris LeVert. So the Pacers get Ben Simmons, who's a little bit younger, not by much, than Domantas Sabonis. They can kind of go with a new style, a new way of attack. They're basically getting 2 first-round picks. They could have also asked for Tyrese Maxey. Don't know if Indiana would do that, or excuse me, if Philly would do that. They could also ask for Matisse Thybulle, but I put 2 first-round picks in here instead. So basically for Indiana, you're getting an all-star player in return for Sabonis and LeVert. You're getting 2 first-round picks, and you can kind of build this team around Ben Simmons, Chris Duarte, and whoever else you get. It may be a Turner or Warren trade. As for Philly, this would be a no-brainer. I think if this were to actually be on the table, Philly would need to throw in more, because maybe I'm undervaluing Domantas Sabonis, who you could say is more valuable than Ben Simmons. I mean, not as good of a defender, not as good of a playmaker, but you know what? Sabonis is a great inside scorer. He's just a threat inside. He's a good rebounder. He's not the worst defender in the world. He's on a fantastic contract, and I think that's why his value is going to be up a little bit more, because you got him under control for $36 million for the next 2 years after this year. And you get him for this year if you're a contending team. So that is just a fantastic trade. And you get Caris LeVert. Philly should jump on this right away. Next up, we have a Miles Turner to Charlotte one. This one everyone's going to mock because it makes sense. Charlotte is a team that wants to contend. They want to make the playoffs. They want to build pieces around LaMelo Ball. And they need a center. So this one could make total sense. In this, they'd be giving up Mason Plumlee, mainly to make the money work. PG Washington, who's the nice young player in this trade. Jalen McDaniels, another young guy, but it's really to make the salary work because they can't move Kai Jones at the moment because he was recently drafted. And a 2023 water-protected first-round pick. It will be a little bit iffy if they can move their first-round picks because currently I believe their pick is top like 18 protected to the New York Knicks this year. So we don't know if that's going to convey or not. And they get Miles Turner. It makes total sense for Charlotte. You can end up rolling out there LaMelo, Rozier, Hayward, Bridges, Turner. And that's a very good final 5 or just even starting 5 out there to contend in the Eastern Conference. Maybe Indiana still wants to be a solid team and they ask for Gordon Hayward in this, and then you would have to think about it a little bit more if you're Charlotte. But I think Charlotte would be willing to do like a Hayward for Turner swap, because with the emergence of Miles Bridges, they don't really need Gordon Hayward to be that wing scorer. They would lose his playmaking, but you just got enough out of LaMelo Ball. So I think this trade would make sense for both teams, and even if you wanted to do like a Gordon Hayward for Turner, I think that would make sense as well. Next up, we have another Miles Turner trade that makes total sense. Now, for the Warriors getting Miles Turner, they would have to move Kevon Mooney, definitely, if they aren't moving Andrew Wiggins. Now, this is the mindset that I'm like, okay, they probably want Wiggins this year. With Klay coming back, them being one of the best teams in the league, Curry playing like an MVP, they want to win a title this year. They do. While Draymond, Curry, Klay, they're getting older, every year matters a lot more than the last. So they want to win a title this year. Giving up Wiseman's a lot. I know, right? You just spent the 2nd overall pick on him. And if you would have offered this trade on draft night, pick 2 for Turner, you would have been like, no, that is not enough at all. It's just like, if you're looking at this right now, I think it makes sense for the Warriors because Turner would be so much of an immediate impact over Wiseman to help you win a title this year. Because you have Curry, you have Clay, you have Poole, Wiggins, Draymond, Turner. You have like 6 guys right there that you could interchange into the lineup, mainly Wiggins, Poole, and I guess... yeah, that would be it. Because you'd want Turner and Green on the floor. And imagine that defensive front court of Miles Turner and Draymond Green. That would be phenomenal. And that would help them win a championship this year. If you don't want to give up Wiseman, it's tough. You would have to throw maybe like a Moody or Kuminga past December 15th trade idea. So it really depends which young like stud on the Warriors. I mean, I wouldn't call Moody or Kuminga a stud yet, or even Wiseman. But it's like, what young asset would you want to give up? Trade number 4 is one that I talked about on Twitter. I did this in my Grizzlies rebuild on the main channel a couple weeks ago, and I love it because I don't think this is enough at all. You might have to include Desmond Bane in this trade. I actually think you would. So maybe it would have to look like this, and you take out Xavier Tillman and you throw in Desmond Bane. But if you're Memphis, you're not a big market team, right? Jaren Jackson Jr. has been playing a lot better as of late, so he's maybe now looked a little bit better than the beginning of the year in your plans. You have John Morant, you have your superstar on your team, your franchise guy, and like I just mentioned, Memphis, you're not going to really go out and get free agents. You're a good team now, so it's looking like you're not going to have a top 10 pick anytime soon unless that Jazz pick down the line or Warriors pick down the line ends up being it. So why not go out, use your assets, and get an all-star and build that front court of Domantas Sabonis and Jaren Jackson Jr. So Kyle Anderson is in here to make the money work. He's an expiring deal. It would hurt giving up Desmond Bane because they can afford losing Brandon Clark. He's not been fully into the rotation like he's been in his rookie year, and it's just been going a little bit downhill for him. So I think they'd be fine with giving up Anderson, Clark. Zaire Williams hasn't really played much this year, really at all. So, like, is it worth giving it up him? You give up your first round pick this year, and you would have to move Desmond Bane, which would hurt. And maybe Desmond Bane would be untouchable for them, or maybe they prefer to give up Dylan Brooks. But either way, I think getting Domantas Sabonis would make this team very, very good in the playoffs. And you're getting a 25-year-old two-time All-Star. It's not even like Sabonis is 30 years old. He's 25. He's not even basically in his prime yet. And you could have like a Jackson Jr. Sabonis front court. Maybe instead you keep Kyle Anderson and be like, all right, we'll give you Desmond Bane if you take on the Steven Adams contract. Maybe that works because then you can have Ja, Dylan Brooks, Kyle Anderson, Jaren Jackson Jr. and Domantas Sabonis at the 5. And maybe that can contend in the Western Conference or just maybe make it past round 1 and exceed expectations. I don't know, but I would like to see Memphis in some sort of way get Domantas Sabonis. All right, maybe that was trade 4. We're on to trade 5 now. This one is tough for the Sacramento Kings. I mean, I don't really think this would be enough personally. I think the Grizzlies were giving up a little bit more in the previous trade. So Sacramento would definitely have to give up more here. I just don't know if they'd be willing to throw in their first round pick this year. Maybe they end up doing that and they're like, all right, we'll give you our top 5 protected pick this year. So if it's like 6, it's whatever, we got Domantas Sabonis. So maybe it's something like this. You just give up Davion Mitchell if you want to keep rolling Fox and Halliburton out there. You give up picks, top 5 protected this year, lottery pick in 2024. You give up Marvin Bagley, who's something, and Tristan Thompson to make the money work. I mean, this makes total sense for Sacramento because then you could have Fox, Halliburton, Barnes, Sabonis, Holmes, which can maybe get you in the play-in tournament and maybe win it in the Western Conference. I just don't know if this would be enough for Indiana. Next trade couldn't happen until December 15th, which is Michael Green, who's here to make the money work. And it's really Denver going out, really kind of dipping their feet into the luxury tax, or just really diving right in. JaMychal Green, mainly to make the money work. Like I said, has to happen past December 15th. They're giving up Bol, who's not really in the rotation too much for Denver, Zeke Naji, Campazzo, and their first round pick this year, and you're getting Karis LeVert. Now, it's weird because maybe you want to offer this package for, I don't know, Domantas Sabonis, but you'd maybe have to give up Bones Island. I don't know. It would be tough for them to get Sabonis. Maybe you'd like Turner and Jokic and think that could work, or you like TJ Warren, just another wing. But I think Karis LeVert could make more sense for them if you like a Murray when he's healthy, LeVert, Porter Jr. when he's healthy, but now Will Barton, and then you got Gordon and Jokic. If you're trying to contend this year and you're thinking you're going to get Jamal Murray back semi-healthy by playoff time, maybe this is a trade to make. We got 4 left, and it is the Indiana Pacers trading TJ Warren to the Boston Celtics for Juancho Hernan-Gomez, 2 years left on his deal, and Romeo Langford. Now, this is a weird trade. Maybe the Celtics would give up, I think, their top 20 pick this year. Yeah, I think that would be probably more fair, or at least their lottery pick. So if they make the playoffs, they'd be willing to give up this trade because it's more of like a win now move, and you get TJ Warren, who would be great for this team to provide you as that like ball handler off the bench, that primary scorer for that second unit, which I think would be something they need. As for Indiana, if you can get a lottery pick and a former lottery pick, or excuse me, a first round pick and a former lottery pick in Romeo Langford in exchange for an expiring contract TJ Warren, you have to make that deal. Like, if you're rebuilding, you have to. If you want to retool, then maybe you don't, and you just look to re-sign TJ Warren. So we're on to the next trade here. More TJ Warren deals. And like Boston, maybe they'd have to throw in their first-round pick. Dallas, it would be tough because their pick next year is going to the Knicks, so the Stepien role could get confusing. Maybe they'd want another young player in this trade. I mean, it's really tough because, like, Dallas would love a TJ Warren. They could really use somebody that can maybe run that second unit and take a little bit off Luka's back that won't cost as much because Josh Green, barely in the rotation. Maxi Kleba is really there to make the money work. Now, I don't know what other young player they would want. Maybe they want Moses Brown. I don't really know if that would be smart for Dallas to give up that for a possible rental, but I like the idea of Dallas getting TJ Warren. All right, second to last trade. This is another one that maybe Washington would have to include more in this, but it's the Wizards saying, Bradley Beal, stay here. We're solid this year. We're going to go out and trade for a two-time All-Star and build around you even more. We're going to give up Kyle Kuzma, still fairly young. We're going to give up Rui Hachimura. We're going to give up Denny Avdia, who's, I guess, one of the more premier assets in the trade because he's having a lot better sophomore season this year and he's showing some improvement. And we're giving up our first-round pick. We're going out. We're getting Domantas Sabonis. And maybe this would cost, I think, maybe another first for Washington down the line. And they're really committing to Bradley Beal and showing we're willing to give up draft capital, our young guys, to go out and get a 25-year-old all-star caliber big. And then you can have, when it matters, Dinwiddie, Beal, possibly Kispert, KCP, and then you would have like Sabonis, then like Montrezl Harrell Gafford. That's something. That is something, and maybe that team can possibly go to the second round. Now, like a lot of these trades, these aren't perfect. Teams might be giving up too much, not enough. But I like the idea of these teams like getting these players. Like I love the idea of Washington getting Sabonis. Maybe not this package. Maybe this is too much. Maybe this is not enough. But I like that idea. I like the idea of the Mavericks getting Warren and the Celtics getting Warren and the Nuggets getting LeVert, like etc. Right? Like I love these ideas. Obviously, like I mentioned before, not in a front office, so I don't know the value on some of these guys. But it's more about the idea of the trade. And then the final one is the Pelicans saying, "All right, Zion, like." Here we go. We're getting another guy. The season's not over. Let's go out and do something. So they would be giving up Satoransky, salary filler, to make the money work. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Kyra Lewis, and 2 first-round picks that are from the Lakers and the Bucks. So not a lot. So maybe they would want Trey Murphy in this deal. Maybe they'd want the Pelicans pick, but technically it's going to Charlotte from the Devontae Graham side of trade, but that's protected. So maybe they want... I mean, like, you're not getting Ingram, but maybe they want... Yeah, it's really Trey Murphy or Jackson Hayes in return. You're getting 2 first-round picks. Maybe they want 3. Maybe you're like, all right, we're going to be willing to, like, do this trade, but we want, like, this Lakers pick in 2023 as well, and you're giving up a little bit of the Anthony Davis draft capital. Maybe it's this, 3 first-round picks, 2 young players, and a vet for Domantas Sabonis. And for the Pelicans, you're going to run a super big lineup, but hey, maybe it gets you in the playing tournament. It makes Zion happy, makes Ingram happy. Valanciunas is playing like an all-star this year. Maybe you make a big move. Maybe you have Devontae Graham at the 1. You go big. You have Ingram at the 3. You can, or excuse me, at the 2. You can have Zion at the 3. Might not be great on defense, but it's going to have to work. Then you got Sabonis at the 4, Valanciunas at the 5. I mean, not great defensively, but hey, might score a lot of points. And this is really to make Zion happy. But yeah, these are 10 Domantas Sabonis trade ideas. Let me know what you guys think down below. Did you like these? Did you not like these? Let me know maybe what your favorite or your least favorite was down below. The Pacers are going to be a fun team because they have some very good players, and it looks like at least one of them is going to be traded at the deadline between LeVert, Sabonis, and Turner. Finally, Miles Turner might get traded. He's been in rumors for so long. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Drop a like if you did enjoy. I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.